Shove it, man!
Oh man, it's the Hawk. I'm a believer in making videos that I feel passionate about, which is why sometimes I'll throw a video out there which nobody was expecting, and it's because I'm an impulsive Hawk. I want to enjoy what I'm watching, whether it be good, bad or frustrating. If I'm into making a video, it makes for a better video for you guys. Ring of the Hawk Season 3 will be focusing on tag teams, and that's why we've got one today. And of course,
if you know a wrestler who can do the J-O-B to the H-A-W-K any night, any day, ha ha! Shove their name in the comments, Jack!
Okay, lowdown, did they make the Hawk frown? We all know that D'Lo Brown is one of my favourites. His diverse moveset and his chilled out personality just resonated with me. Growing up poor, I played the hell out of SmackDown 2, even though the PS2 had been released. I was still on the PS1. D'Lo Brown was my guy that I used to use in that game. I loved his music, I loved his moves and his taunts. But one thing that always confused me, his Titantron. Who was this Chaz guy who seemed to be all over half the video? They both seem so cool. I love this Titantron to bits with the D'Lo Brown music playing. Back in the day I mostly watched old pay-per-views on video that I'd spend hours looking around charity shops and car boot sales for. And I caught the odd SmackDown episode when I could at a friend's house. There was no way my family were reaching out for one of the more expensive TV channels so I could catch the WWF. So I had no idea who Chaz was. But one thing's for sure, he wasn't a playable character in SmackDown 2. As it turns out, and as I got older, I found out that Chaz was the former headbanger Mosh. Mosh had success in the headbangers for sure. He was a tag team champion. But when that ended, he was the awful Beaver Cleavage. D'Lo Brown had lots of success in the mid-card of him being a Eurocontinental champion and all, but after botching a running powerbomb on Droz which left him paralysed, and his biggest fan Vince Russo leaving for WCW, D'Lo's career was in trouble. So that brings us to the summer of the year 2000. They obviously wanted to put D'Lo Brown in a tag team because he'd just come out of the most forgettable tag team of all time, D'Lo Brown and Perry Saturn. Now the team Lowdown actually lasted for 6 months altogether, but I'd forgive you for not knowing that because they spent the majority of their run on C shows and we don't watch them for Ring of the Hawk. So let's find out what they got up to on the main roster. Match 1 SmackDown, the Dudley Boyz versus Lowdown, D'Lo and Chaz. They come out to zero crowd reaction. They're apparently a team because they both feel they have been wronged by the WWF. They're also childhood friends who grew up close to one another in Jersey. D'Lo and Devon Dudley start the clunky exchange. It eventually ends with Devon spinning back elbow. Bubba Ray is in now and he hits a massive side slam on D'Lo. D'Lo Brown's getting destroyed here. He can't land a move on Bubba and then he gets back suplexed. Bubba tries to follow it with a splash, but he misses and D'Lo tags in Chaz. It doesn't go well for him though and he slams, and then Bubba hits the second rope ass senton. It should be over, but Chaz makes the ropes. Devon Dudley's back in. Chaz leapfrogs him, but immediately grabs his knee. This distracts the ref, but Chaz is faking it, and D'Lo pulls Devon into the ring pole, nutsack first. With Devon now on the ring apron, Chaz hits a springboard flying forearm to send him to the floor again. D'Lo follows that with a dive to the outside. This match has definitely turned now. Devon gets a lucky roll-up before D'Lo knocks him down again with a spinning heel kick. D'Lo Brown tries the lowdown, which he misses, and Bubba Ray gets back in the match to fight Chaz. We get a big back body drop now and the Bubba bomb on D'Lo. The Dudleys hit the what's up on D'Lo. It's not looking good. Now Devon Dudley's sent to get a table. The match has broken down and the ref is distracted. We get a double down in the middle of the ring. The Right to Censor music starts playing and Steven Richards sneaks out and steals a table. If you wanted to be sneaky, how about, not playing your loud alarm music? It just doesn't make sense. The Dudleys are very confused about their missing table. I guess they're both deaf. Bubba goes to get another table, and whilst that's going on, Lowdown hit a flapjack into the Chaz leg drop. D'Lo throws himself out of the ring onto Bubba, but it was all for nothing because it's just a 2 count. Seconds later, D'Lo is sent into the ring pole and the Dudleys hit 3D to win. Don't you just love it when a new team debuts and lose straight away? It was a really fun match though. I wish it had gone longer. I'll give it a C because it made me actually want to see more of Lowdown. Match 2 SmackDown. The Hardy Boys take on Lowdown, whose crowd reaction has improved. This one could be good. The fight starts before the bell has sounded. They hit a double team back elbow on Matt Hardy and then D'Lo flapjacks his own partner on top of him. No pin is made, but the beatdown continues with the Chaz Black suplex. Matt Hardy manages to fight back now with a jumping tornado DDT and Jeffro Nero Hardy's in. He drop toe holds D'Lo into the turnbuckle. The Hardys hit their own double elbow followed by another double team. Lowdown gets the advantage back by cheating. They pull Hardy into the ring pole, nutsack first. Lowdown capitalised with a double team vertical suplex on Jeff Hardy. Jeff's getting beaten up on the ropes when Chaz hits a leg drop on the apron. This seems to fire Jeff up, but he's immediately shut down with a backdrop from D'Lo. Chaz is in now with a diving double axe and a 2 count. Chaz beheads Jeff. The crowd seems to be all over him. D'Lo's back in with a big knee to the gut and then he clubs Jeff as he is already falling down. For some reason, he does a springboard moonsault. I can't remember D'Lo ever doing this. Of course he misses that one. Maybe possibly only in TNA. Both wrestlers make the tag. Matt Hardy's on fire. He DDTs D'Lo and hits the second rope clothesline on Chaz. The Hardys do their poetry in motion on both guys. This allows Matt to connect the second rope leg drop. D'Lo breaks the pin up, but Jeff gets rid of him straight away with a drop kick from behind. I don't think he was expecting it. Jeff takes out D'Lo with a dive to the outside. In the meantime, Matt Hardy hits the twist of fate, and then Jeff finishes it with the Swanton bomb. One of the rare times on Ring of the Hawk when it's actually Jeff Hardy hitting the Swanton bomb. Lowdown are bad losers, so they double powerbomb Matt Hardy. They take Jeff and superplex him with D'Lo hitting the Lowdown a fraction after. Pretty cool double team finisher, but will we actually see it as a finish? It's another C, pretty enjoyable. Match 3, SmackDown. Almost 3 months later, so it's not exactly going well then, is it? Fine. Mixed 6-person tag. The Hardys and Lita take on Lowdown and Jacqueline. Chaz and Jeff will start this one. He immediately struggles with Jeff and he's hit with a springboard moonsault. Matt Hardy's in now and they hit poetry in motion. D'Lo tries to rush the ring, but the Hardys deal with him with ease. Jackie tries to dive on Matt, but she misses that. Matt Hardy's then distracted trying to figure out if he wants to tag Lita in or not, which allows Chaz to sneak up and hit a reverse Death Valley driver. D'Lo gets the tag and they both stomp down Matt Hardy. He then elbows Matt down and sprays water like Triple H. Matt looks like he's trying to come back, so D'Lo sends him out the ring. Chaz sends him into the barricade, followed by Jackie diving on him. In the ring, D'Lo connects the spinebuster, which is just a 2 count. Lowdown keep cheating to keep Matt Hardy grounded. It doesn't work though and we get a double down. Jeff Hardy gets the hot tag and he sends D'Lo onto the ropes, but nothing happens. D'Lo's back up, so Jeff takes him down with a Hurricanrana. Jeff Hardy isn't done yet though and he hits him with the Whisper in the Wind. Chaz attacks Lita from behind, and now we get the Hardys and Lita hitting a triple DDT to Jackie and D'Lo. Jeff immediately flies out the ring with a senton on Chaz. Lita should have it won now with the moonsault, but D'Lo sneaks into the ring and he hits Lita with a sky high, and Jackie pins Lita. Wow, Lowdown and Jackie actually won. Once again after the match, Lowdown do the superplex into the Lowdown. Another really entertaining match, it's yet another C. Something's got to give here. Match 4, Raw, WWF Tag Team titles. The Hardy Boys, the champions, accompanied by Lita versus Lowdown. I can't believe they actually have a shot at winning the belts. Once again, they'll fight before the bell. The Hardys start well with a double suplex on D'Lo. Jeff also catches him with a head scissors from the corner. D'Lo shuts down his offense for back elbow. Chaz gets the tag, but his back body drops straight away. The Hardy Boys hit him with their double leg drop move. Matt Hardy now sends Chaz out the ring and he dives on him from the ring apron. Matt wants to get him back in the ring, but he's stopped by D'Lo and dropped on the crowd barrier. Matt's rolled into the ring for a 2 count. Now we get a leapfrog into the dropkick. D'Lo isn't happy with the referee's count and he screams at him. Matt's trying to come back, but he can't manage it as D'Lo hits the spinebuster. The crowd are chanting D'Lo sucks. It almost ends when Matt gets a lucky sunset flip on Chaz and then he's shut down with a clothesline. Matt Hardy's getting destroyed by Lowdown. D'Lo with the slam now into the non-shaky head leg drop. I guess it's the heel version. Chaz with the reverse Death Valley now. Jeff Hardy has to break up the count. Chaz misses his following leg drop, but he does manage to get up and knock Jeff off the ring apron. The Hardys realise they're losing badly, so Lita interferes and pulls Chaz into the ring pole. Nutsack first. The tag to Jeff and D'Lo is now made. Jeff hits the head scissors to D'Lo. The poetry of motion follows that up. They also hit one to Chaz. Jeff Hardy with the front slam now and he wants to end it, but the Conquistadors rush the ring and shove Jeff off the top. Lowdown with the superplex into the Lowdown on Jeff, but there's no ref. Matt Hardy dives with a leg drop and when the ref turns around that is the 3. As usual, Lowdown are bad losers and Chaz decks Matt with the tag belt. I enjoyed this one, but Lowdown feels sort of generic. I hope something changes here, it's a D. Match 5, SmackDown, Tag Team Tables match, the Dudley Boys versus Lowdown who don't even get an entrance. They try double baseball slides, but they miss and the table is slammed into them. Then some strange club music starts playing. It's the Conquistadors again. In the ring now, Lowdown are getting Sonny Shaki's ass handed to them. Chaz manages a clothesline on Bubba Ray, but it doesn't hurt him much, and seconds later, Bubba hits the side slam. The what's up from the Dudley Boys now to Chaz. D'Lo feels left out, so he also gets a headbutt to the nutsack. Bubba has now called for the tables to come into play. They try to suplex D'Lo through the table, but luckily Chaz moves the table. Chaz then gives Bubba a tornado DDT from the middle rope and his head smashes into the table. Lowdown looked a bit worried for a second there. Bubba is rammed in the gut with the table and also D'Lo Brown dropkick to the nutsack. Bubba does turn the match around and he gets Chaz on the table. D'Lo distracts him. Chaz then tries to do the Frankenstein on Bubba through the table, but this time Devon moves the table. Bubba eventually fights back with the Bubba bomb on D'Lo Brown. Tags are made and Devon hits the saving grace on Chaz. Can't recall seeing that move that much in the early days of Devon Dudley. Chaz is now destroyed by the Dudley device. He's surely done for now. D'Lo is still fighting on though and he sends Bubba from the ring and sky-highs Devon Dudley. D'Lo gets him on the table, but Bubba makes him fall in his nutsack. When he gets up, he walks into a 3D through the table. Better than the last match, really exciting to be fair, it's a B. I enjoy them working with the Dudleys. Match 6 SmackDown Tag Team Battle Royal for the number 1 contendership for the tag titles. Nobody gets an entrance. Only one member of a team has to be eliminated for the whole team to be gone. Test and Albert are the first team eliminated. I'm shocked it wasn't our team. D'Lo throws Scotty 2 Hotty out the ring, but the Acolytes catch him and put him back in the ring. Now, Right to Censor are eliminated. Tiger Ali Singh is seen in the audience. God knows what he wants. Grandmaster Sexay have a crossbody now, which eliminates Lowdown and Too Cool at the same time, so it was a bad decision. I'd say they did better than expected, but in reality, they just did nothing and lasted a bit longer than some of the other teams. Match is won by Los Conquistadors, who are of course a masked Edge and Christian. It's an S.
Oh no!
Match 7, No Mercy 2000, Tag Team Table Invitational. Too Cool start the match with Lowdown. I think the chances of Lowdown going all the way in this match are extremely slim. Lowdown realise this and they get the jump on Too Cool early. Grandmaster Sexay with the dancing dropkick on D'Lo. He stops the onslaught with a punch to his nutsack. Lowdown now work together to send the table into Lawler's gut. Chaz hits a suplex and D'Lo wants to do one too, but he's unable to manage it and he gets suplexed back. More nut-related offense now. Scotty wants to dive Chaz for a table, but he's stopped at the last second. D'Lo hits the sky high on Sexay. It's looking good for our guys. They then try the superplex and Lowdown at the same time. One is shoved through the table, and the other misses his dive. Don't you just love it when your team is the first to be eliminated? Match is won by those damn Dudleys. Not good at all, it's an S. Now, it's been a fairly inoffensive run so far. Nothing incredible, but nothing really much to complain about. Now, who's ready for a punch to the gut, because that's about to change. WWE decided that Lowdown needed a manager, and this would be Tiger Ali Singh, and it turned this team into a complete joke. For the next few months, it became a running joke that nobody cared about Lowdown. Their interviews were interrupted, and they were kept off pay-per-views whilst people like Mick Foley openly mocked and laughed at how bad they were. They were even kept out of the arena for a few weeks as security didn't even know who they were. What I never understood is, if they're so bad, why even have them on the show in the first place? With this gimmick, Lowdown ditched their normal attire and music, and instead they wore turbans to the ring like their manager and had Indian music. This made absolutely no sense. Why would they be following someone who was a bigger jobber than they were? Both Mosh and D'Lo had far better careers than him, so why would they want his advice? D'Lo looked completely miserable around this time, and why wouldn't he? He was openly mocked on live TV every week. Why was he suddenly religious? He used to be considered a future world champion, and now he's doing this. So they spent the next few months on C shows once again, but they did show up on Raw and SmackDown just to be made fun of. Match 8, 6-man tag team tables match. Steve Blackman teams up with the Dudley Boys to take on Lowdown, Tiger Ali Singh, D'Lo and Chaz. They don't get an entrance though. Lowdown fight with the turban still on their head because they're strapped in. D'Lo hits Blackman with a back elbow. Tiger Ali Singh is in now and he gets beaten up with some of Blackman's martial arts. He dumps in his nappy and runs and tags out. It doesn't go much better for Chaz. He's slammed by Devon on a hit with an elbow drop. He tries to cover, but it's a tables match. Lowdown turns this around by cheating and Chaz throws Bubba from the top. Now Lowdown hit a double flapjack on Bubba. This doesn't last much longer because we get a double down. With Blackman back in, they have no chance. The diving shoulder tackle takes out Chaz and the belly to belly takes out D'Lo. Tiger's still filling his nappy of turd. It's practically dripping down his leg at this point. Tiger isn't as scared of Bubba Ray though and he fights him instead. And that doesn't go well either. He gets a what's up. The Dudleys suddenly remember that it's actually a tables match and they go and set one up in the ring. And now for the most shocking moment of this video. D'Lo Brown catches Steve Blackman with a lowdown through the table and Lowdown have won the match. I didn't even realise they won a match with Tiger as their manager. It's a D for winning, but there really wasn't much happening here. You spent the last 2 months telling us they're a joke, and giving them a win won't change that. Match 9, SmackDown Tag Match, the Dudleys versus Lowdown, who are now sporting snazzy blue turbans. I'm sure that'll help get them over. If the Turban crew get a win, it might make me grin, and I'll start believing in them. Tiger Ali demands respect on the mic. He doesn't like the crowd's prejudices and say they aren't cab drivers. Rumour has it that David Young's Gimmick was born on this day. He says he'll beat up the US's inferior athletes. Lowdown start praying, which angers the Dudleys, who jump them. Lowdown get the advantage in the ring and D'Lo hits the spinning heel kick. Now we get a side slam leg drop combination from Lowdown. Good to see a new tag team move. Devon's unable to turn it around and gets an atomic drop followed by a leaping lariat. Now Lowdown work together again. It's that move that the world's greatest tag team used to do. The ref is distracted, which allows Tiger Ali Singh to sneak into the ring and hit the netbreaker on Devon. Not a free though. Eventually D'Lo misses his attack in the corner and Devon hits the big diving netbreaker. Now Bubba has the tag. Big side slam on Chaz and a big back body drop on D'Lo. The Dudleys hit the Dudley device on Chaz, but D'Lo is able to break up the pin. On the outside of the ring, Tiger floors his own man. And here comes the what's up on D'Lo. And there's the 3D on Chaz for the 1-2-3. I knew I was asking too much of Lowdown. If you can look past the goofy attire, it was a decent match. It's a D. Perhaps the most memorable moment of Lowdown is at the Royal Rumble 2001 when Mr. McMahon takes away their place in the Rumble so that Drew Carey can compete. Tiger Ali thinks his name is Drew Curry. Casual racism. I think D'Lo may have had a point with his next gimmick in 2002.
Drew Carey. Drew Curry? Who is Drew Curry?
Match 10, final match. Wow, well that didn't take long, did it? And it'll be for the tag titles too. Lowdown the challengers with Tiger versus the Dudleys the champions. Not a great deal is happening, Chaz with a low dropkick. That's about all they managed before D'Lo is hit with a Bubba Bomb. Devon beats up both members of Lowdown on his own, but the power slam doesn't end it. Tiger is on commentary and he tells us that D'Lo and Chaz have adopted the Indian culture. Chaz is getting destroyed in there and now it's time for the wood. The ref is distracted and D'Lo tries to cheat with a tag title belt shot. Bubba dodges that and hits him with the belt. The ref turns around and the match is thrown out for DQ. So Lowdown have won by DQ. Tiger's an idiot and thinks his team had just won the tag titles. Everybody knows the belts don't change hands on DQ. What a moron. He's soon put through the table to end the segment. The worst match of this run, it's an S. They would make one more appearance on Heat. This featured Taz on commentary saying that Tiger isn't actually Indian because he used to play football against him in Jersey. A rare Chaz promo where he says Tiger won't speak to the crowd tonight because he's offended by them. And then they get a tray of rose petals. Tiger puts the rose petals in their hats for some reason. Sorry, I don't mean to be religiously ignorant, but this run has been such a joke it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. Then they're beaten up by the Dudleys in a 3-on-2 handicap match. The team would get sent to developmental and then Chaz and Tiger would both get released. D'Lo would stay signed to the WWF but would miss the entire invasion angle down in developmental. I actually enjoyed the early version of this team. They had cool music, moves and attitude. But the second part was god awful. It's funny how they only got any promo time when WWF wanted to make a joke out of them because they shouldn't get any segments of promos before. The gimmicks sucked and didn't make sense for D'Lo and Chaz. They took away their cool music and now they were just two guys in turbans for some reason. It was like the WWF was actively trying to make us forget about these guys' previous accomplishments. It's tricky because we have to grade this run as a whole when it felt like two separate parts. Ultimately, I would let Lowdown do the JOB to the HAWK if they used their first gimmick, but their second one could shove it. So it's only fair to give them a D overall. I think a C would be too high. Not the worst I've ever seen, but you know for sure that both these guys were capable of more, and if you don't agree with that, I'll knock you to the floor.